Call to order this meeting of Susquehanna Township Board of Commissioners. Welcome, everybody. I would note for the record that the board did meet in executive session to discuss matters permitted under law, including litigation, real estate, and personnel. And at this point, well, to do the roll call, all commissioners are present except for Commissioners Napper, Commissioner Schubert, and Commissioner Pine, all of whom are excused. At this point, I would like to do a Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Johnson and followed by a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, welcome everybody. We'll start off with petitions, complaints, suggestions from citizens. Anybody wishing to address the board?
Mr. President.
3 minutes, please. Welcome. Front and center. State your name.
Good evening. I'm Elliot Markovitz. I'm the Executive Director at Susquehanna Township EMS. I just wanted to inform the board and the public that Susquehanna Township EMS, after months of work and a few $1,000s, is now the first EMS service in the area that I'm aware of where you can now take out a membership and pay for it online. We are also working to have, next step is going to be able to pay bills online and our business memberships. The second mailing is going out for our memberships. So far, it's been okay. We've brought in about $86,000, of which close to $80,000 alone is from Susquehanna Township residents, which is great. So just thought I'd share that.
That's excellent.
Thank you.
That electronic is very convenient, and hopefully it dries up your numbers.
I'm hoping for folks who the under 40 set who aren't used to writing checks and like addressing envelopes and putting stamps on them, that this will help.
Thank you, Elliot.
So thank you.
Appreciate that.
You still have a minute 40 seconds if you want to sing a song or something.
I hadn't planned
Mr. Myers, you're out of order.
Thank you, Mr.
Singing
President.
for Mr. Markovitz. Anybody else wish to address the board? Okay, moving on to the agenda. Approval of minutes from our July 9th regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. August 3, 2015 bid opening. We have a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Moved and second. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Reports of committees. Buildings and Grounds, Commissioner Pine and Schubert are not here. Mr. Myers, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Thank you. Budget and Finance, Commissioner Sanderson.
Yes, very briefly, we're halfway through the year, so in your inboxes will be the attendant report. If you have any questions about any particular line item in the budget report, certainly contact me or Commissioner Fleming. Mr. Myers has gone through it with us, and it's normal. There are no spikes in the season. We'll be planning the budget preparations very soon. That's all.
Thank you.
I just have a quick comment or maybe a question regarding the budget. I know I talk about this every year when we sit down at the table ready to approve it. And I've been saying for years that, I'd like to see us do it differently. And I guess maybe I need to come up with a suggestion since I talk about doing this differently. And I guess my suggestion would be, is it possible for us to have each department head present their budget to us? So let me just use numbers. I don't count very well. So if on the budget line they got $10, they show us exactly what the $10 are for. So so someone like me will have a better understanding. I'll leave it at that.
Certainly, my understanding, this question came up several months ago, and when we first started having the extra meeting, the question was, could we ask department heads to make a presentation? the answer at the time was yes. I don't see that changing. I certainly
Gary,
think
make it
that-
happen.
Let's do it.
That's all we need to do. Gary, make it happen. Whichever.
Mr. President Johnson, no, I think the schedule right now would be to have the department heads come in and present their budgets at your October workshop session.
Will that be in enough time before?
That'll
Yes,
be
it'll
the
be plenty of time,
normally
Commissioner.
Okay.
scheduled time, because the end of the year requires us to adopt. the
And if
budget.
you would need a second session, certainly I would schedule it as at the board's request.
Let's just schedule it then. Thank you.
Mr. President, I have a question. Will the Committee be building in the cost for the replacement of an HVAC system for this building next year?
What I'm going to do is build in what capital needs. I will be working with Mr. Grubik to see what's needed. I've had to replace several HVAC systems, several HVAC units, but there are some other needs that need to be addressed, Commissioner. I think we need to address them as a capital improvement. So I would say yes.
Okay, because my understanding is the HVAC system is 25, 30 years old, and I know the Recreation Department didn't have heat last winter. They had space heaters, and then we had issues with the air conditioning in the
Yes.
upstairs this summer. So rather than waiting till the heat fails over the winter, I think it'd be wise to plan to replace it sooner than later. Get something more energy efficient.
Got that, Justin?
Yes, that is the reasoning and the philosophy. I agree with you.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Sanders?
No, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Napper's not here for the highway report. Commissioner Engel, do you have any?
No.
Mr. Myers, anything on the highway front?
No, in the fall newsletter, we will again be publishing the leaf management area pickups for the fall, and this year we're going to try to get those leaves to cooperate so they fall in sequence. But as in every year, we will get the leaves picked up. Mr. Dietrich and Mr. Christmer have worked on the schedule, and it will be published in the newsletter and on the website, and for Commissioner Napper report on at the next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to administration, Mr. Napper. He had listed an HR update. I guess we'll wait for our next meeting to get that.
I list that as standard per Commissioner
Right.
Napper's request, but
Okay.
he's having quarterly meetings now, so he will have a report next month.
Very good. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes.
Health and Sanitation.
Health and sanitation?
No report.
Police, Commissioner Engel.
No report.
Thank you.
I will report that your Chief Martin, manager of the local Harrisburg RBI team, they have made the pool play going into the finals. They finished first in their bracket in Dallas, Arlington, Texas. They have 2 wins and they have a tie due to the time restraints. There's time restraints in these games, so they have an elimination game tomorrow morning at 7:45 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
No cheap.
Eastern time?
Their time,
Is that streaming anywhere?
Central.
So that's 9:30 here, so it's not bad. Nothing from police, fire and EMS. Commissioner Fleming.
Yes, Mr. President. To date, Susquehanna Township Fire and Rescue Services have responded to over 1,100 emergency calls for service. Progress Fire Company number 2 has 2 members graduating from the Loudoun County, Virginia Fire Academy. So we'd like to say congratulations to Jared Kramer and Philip Augustino. And Philip came to us from Massachusetts as a college live-in with Progress Fire Company, and he will continue to live in Susquehanna Township even after graduating from the Loudoun County, Virginia Fire Academy. Progress Fire Company is finishing up their annual live-in academy. Today is the 5th day of 6-day and 6-night training session designed to bring new live-ins and members up to speed on what's required for the fire service here. There is no one in the region that puts in this type of condensed and professional training together for their new members. And so, when I talk about our fire and EMS personnel, we're very lucky to have the volunteers that we do who are so dedicated and committed. And again, they're volunteers. So the township, while we do have a fire fund, the township is greatly served by them. Congratulations also to Edgemont Fire Company Chief Kelvin Siegel, who was recently promoted to captain in the Baltimore County Fire Department. And to date, volunteers that live in Susquehanna Township our career firefighters all over the region, including places like Frederick County, Maryland, Washington, D.C., again, Arlington County, Virginia, Loudoun County, Virginia, Fort Indian Town Gap, the city of Harrisburg. So again, our volunteers are career firefighters in other places and do an outstanding job for us, and they're doing it for us on a volunteer basis. So again, there's a lot to be thankful for. And finally, the fire service has placed an order for 73 new air packs to replace outdated units, and they do receive a Department of Homeland Security Assistance to Firefighter grant to help defray some of the cost of those air packs. So we appreciate that. Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Sure.
How dare you,
A
Mom?
little shorter than usual. Yeah. Recreation, Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Start the clock.
Briefly, a community blood drive will be held August 28th from 3 to 7 in the lower level of the municipal building. Excuse me. The recreation staff had a great summer with more than 800 participants in the recreation program from June through August. Discount movie tickets are still available at the recreation office, along with amusement park tickets, discounted amusement park tickets, and Renaissance Fair tickets. And also look on the township website for new fall and winter recreation programs that will appear, and also look forward to our new township newsletter. That concludes my report.
And the newsletter should be coming out first week in September.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Just
Fast.
under the wire there, Commissioner.
Mr. Riker, could you come up to the podium for a second? Talk about the 10-year plan,
Yes,
the update for recreation.
yes.
Excuse me, I inadvertently put that under
I
planning.
understand.
It should be under Commissioner Johnson. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, we were going to ask him to do it anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
good to go.
The Recreation Advisory Committee and the Recreation Department are looking forward to working on a new recreation plan. Actually, not new, we're updating the old plan. So every 10 years we do that. The reason we do it, obviously get the feel for the township residents, what they're looking for, and also to have that as a line item on grants. They look for that as a grant item, and that's usually worth a few points, having a good current recreation plan. So I would ask that you would approve us to move forward with updating our recreation plan.
You need a motion in that, you need a motion in that regard?
I would-
I think it would be in order, sir.
So moved.
Second.
We're,
Moved and seconded. Yes, Commissioners?
I don't have any comments.
I just have one question. Is there going to be an opportunity for residents to weigh in on what ought to be included in the plan as well, and how is that going to take place?
Thank
Mr.
you,
Rector?
Commissioner. Yes, I'd like to put a survey on our website.
Okay.
So that everyone has the opportunity to do that. We'll have to work out the logistics of that, how long to leave it on, things like that. But we'll also make paper copies available for those who do not use a computer. So we'll work to try to get it out as much as we can,
Excellent. Thank you,
as
Mr.
much
Rector.
feedback as we can.
And you'll be working with the Recreation Advisory Committee?
Yes.
Okay. Any other comments?
I'm just, what are we approving?
To move ahead with the, putting together the study of the 10-year plan.
Okay, yeah, they've been working on that. The Recreation Board has a committee that's been working on that.
Right, but I wanted to make sure the board understood we are
Yeah.
working on it. We're gonna ask for public input. We may even have one or two public meetings
Right.
over the next couple months.
So you're going to continue working on
Yes,
the...
yes.
I was gonna
And
say something.
eventually, will we have to vote to adopt the plan? Will there be a
Yeah,
recommendation
I
to?
would think we would vote at
Okay.
that point. yes.
Okay.
So we're voting right now.
For
you to continue on.
To continue on.
To endorse the reference.
Aye.
All those in favor? Back to the future?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, Planning and Zoning, Commissioner Rabarchak.
No report.
Okay, thank you. Bids and agreements, our municipal solid waste contract. Mr. Foreman, you want to tee this up, please?
The board approved the minutes earlier in the meeting for the August 3, 2015 bid opening. We received 5 bids. The board has received copies of the bids. On behalf of the board, I reviewed the bids, and it is my advice to the board that the bids, that the apparent low bidder is responsive. bid protest was filed, and based upon that, we did some research to make sure to get the board information about the validity of the small business portion of the apparent low bidder, and that includes affidavits for more than the minimum number of dollars that are required under the small business portion of that bid. So the board has all of that material in front of it, and I believe that it's now, if the board wishes, it's now appropriate to award the bid to the low bidder.
Mr. President,
Commissioner.
I move to award the bid to the low bidder, that being Penn Waste.
Second.
Good second. Any comment?
Mr. President, I am going to be abstaining from this vote. We've had a lot of information exchanged up until just an hour or so before the meeting. I honestly have not had an opportunity to read all those emails, and without going over all the information, I don't feel comfortable voting on it.
Any other comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
No, no.
Motion carries 4 to 1 to 1.
4 aye, 1 nay,
4 ayes,
1 abstain.
1 no, 1 abstention. Thank you. Moving on, action on ordinance resolution subdivisions land development plans. Resolution 15R09, and this is a resolution authorizing the submission of a grant application to the Commonwealth Financing Authority for a safety improvement project on Union Deposit Road. Mr. Myers?
Last year, we submitted a grant we received this casino grant to do the design for the extended sidewalk on UD Road. We applied for a construction grant and were denied that from another source. We've been working on other sources to find the financing for the construction money, and we find this to be a good vehicle, and I'm requesting this resolution to be authorized so that the board may submit this grant.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comment?
I do have a quick question. So, and I think you just answered the question. So the grant that we got previously, that wasn't for the casino grant. Wasn't that for the sidewalk extension?
That was for design, Commissioner. That was for the design. The construction of it, because what we're looking at over there on UD Road is almost the construction of a bridge, because there's a large, almost like a canyon area on the south side of the road. So the sidewalk is more than just a sidewalk, and it's going to be quite extensive. And the only way the township will be able to afford to place that sidewalk in is through grant funding.
Mr. President, I have a question. Is that, will that be sidewalk be placed in the right-of-way?
Absolutely.
Okay, I have another question then. We were looking at a similar situation on Linglestown Road when we had the development of the property across from Blue Mountain Commons. So Linglestown Road is state road, just like Union Deposit Road. And we were told that the developer could not put in a sidewalk there because it was a state road, and we could not they could not get permission to put in a sidewalk on a state road. And there was also a similar situation where a bridge would have been required over it. So the developer, we didn't require them to put in a sidewalk or the bridge, yet the township is pursuing nearly an identical situation over on Union Deposit Road. So what's the difference? That we can do it, but the developer couldn't.
I can try to answer that. You're correct, Commissioner. There have been some situations where PennDOT has not permitted the installation of sidewalk within a right-of-way. It was an internal policy that actually began back when the PSECU building was put in a number of years, three-plus years ago. Since then, PennDOT has taken another look at some of the requirements, but this particular situation is not only critical, but it's within PennDOT right-of-way, and it does meet most of the criteria of the Multimodal Transportation Grant Fund, which specifically identifies easier access for pedestrians. And based on that, we have talked with PennDOT, and they have encouraged us to be able to submit this application, hoping that their policies will be relaxed or able to be modified to be able to accommodate this project.
Well, I think it's a good idea to have a sidewalk there. I know it's heavily traveled, but I thought it was equally important to have a sidewalk on Linglestown Road, and I don't understand why we didn't pursue
Well,
that, and that would have been at the developer's cost. That was only a few months ago, too, so it wasn't that it was that long a period of time that, you know, PennDOT's policy would have changed.
There is this, if it's the Vartan property you're talking about, 2323 Linglestown Road, there is a sidewalk there, but it's off the right-of-way. It's a paved area that went as far as it could go topographically.
Right,
to
and
the
we
east.
didn't require them to put in the bridge that would have connected to the sidewalk that went to Holly Hills.
That's correct, but they only own to the creek.
Right, exactly. So we could have required them to do that, but we didn't, and we're pursuing a similar situation. That's my point.
Correct.
So we're looking to do this at the township and the tax dollars' expense, but we weren't willing to require a developer to do it.
Well, this is a grant. It's a grant application.
Well, that's tax dollars. All right, that answers my question. Good project, but I wish we'd done the same thing on Linglestown Road when the developer was developing there. And I did express that at the Planning Commission meetings.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comment? All in favor of the application?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, item number 2, Triple Crown, a request to reduce the site improvement guarantee at the Giant Flex Space on Linglestown Road from $157,982 to $58,061.69. And the township engineers reviewed the request and recommended approval. We have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Unfinished business.
It's a published report. I guess the biggest update on the unfinished business would be the Dauphin County Land Bank project. I guess the demolition ceremony is scheduled for August 20th at 10 a.m. at 4700 block of Tuscarora Street. The Board of Commissioners have all been invited by Dauphin County Economic Development. It's a project that's taken a long time, but it's a great project, and I want to thank the Board of Commissioners, Susquehanna Township School District, and County Commissioners and the Dauphin County Land Bank for making this almost a reality, and I look forward to the project. So thank you all.
Thank you. Under reports, do you have any reports, Mr. Myers?
Mr. Commissioner, other than welcome back, Mrs. Urban, no, I don't.
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Urban.
Yes, exactly. They're,
It's a twofer.
They're a package deal.
Yeah, they're packaged together.
Okay, Mr. Foreman.
I have no report tonight, thank you.
School Board, Commissioner Fleming.
Yes, Mr. President. The summer is drawing to a close, and school will begin very soon for Susquehanna Township students on Monday, August 24th. And we wish all the incoming students the best of luck with their school year. And one comment on that. As we know, it's important to support our students at each and every grade level. And in that vein, I'm calling upon parents and residents alike to become involved in our schools, either as part of a PTO, booster club, or as a volunteer. I've been so proud to serve at Cerro Lindenmuth Elementary School as a member of the PTO and either a reading coordinator or a homeroom parent for 3 years for each of my son's classes in kindergarten, first and second grade. And it's been an incredibly rewarding experience. And again, I just hope everyone is equally inspired to get involved. And if you have any questions about joining the volunteer program or would like to sign up for an orientation, we ask you to contact Daphne Champagne. She's our volunteer coordinator with the Susquehanna Township School District. And you can email her at Hannah, H-A-N-N-A, volunteer at Comcast.net, or leave her a message with the school district at 717-657-5100. Again, best of luck to all the students, teachers, faculty, staff, school board, and everyone for a great 2015-16 school year. And Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Authority, Commissioner Sanderson.
Thank you. No report.
Okay. Shade Tree, Commissioner Barczyk.
No report.
Communications Committee is on vacation. How about Human Relations?
No
Commissioner?
report.
Okay. New business, do we have any? Commissioner comments?
just real brief, I just want to talk about on August 22nd from 11 to 1, we will be honoring, as I start to speak, then I remembered that this is a surprise honoring. We will be honoring a World War II vet here in Susquehanna Township, in particular in Edgemont. We will be having that ceremony on the corner of, as I get my trusty notes together, we will be having that ceremony on the corner of North 21st and Clayton Avenue. Again, we will be naming a street after this gentleman, and because it's a surprise, I don't want to say his name, but he's a World War II veteran here living in Susquehanna Township. He's lived in Edgemont almost his entire life, and we would invite veterans and the community to come out and celebrate with us. We will have food, music, and fun for the whole family. And that concludes my comments.
I do happen to know who you're talking about, and I look forward to joining you.
Thank you.
Any
What
other
ti-
comments?
What time is that, Madam Vice President?
From 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, August 22nd.
Thank you.
And let me just say the address again also. On the corner of North 21st Street and Clayton Avenue, there's going to be a large field there. We will have a pavilion. And one of the, I apologize, I believe it's the VFW, is sponsoring the food, the music, and the entertainment.
I believe that's the place where we had our baseball field when I was a kid,
Oh,
in
okay.
the corner of 21st and Clayton. So
Okay.
we did a pitcher's mound out of a tire. We brought a tire over, did a pitcher's mound with some tan bark that we probably took from somebody. I think
There's
the
no
statute,
statute of
the chief,
limitations on
chief
that.
is not here, so
I know it's the chief, yeah.
we had we found plywood that we used as our fence, home run, painted marked off the footage and everything. So I will definitely try to be there.
Sounds like Spanky and our guy.
Yes, indeed. Pretty close. Pretty close, though not as good as those guys.
Oh, man, I wouldn't admit that.
I'll speak for myself.
That's good, though.
Any more comments from commissioners before we move on to approve the bills paid?
Just like to wish happy National Left-Handers Day to all the left-handers today.
Endless. It's endless.
Well, I do have one other comment. I'd like to wish a happy anniversary to Mr. Justin and his wife.
Thank you.
14 years married.
Thank you.
Did I get that right?
Thanks
Yeah.
very much. Yes, indeed. Thank
That's
you.
right. They just celebrated their anniversary.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. I appreciate it.
Yeah, just let your wife know our prayers are with her.
Wow.
I do have one then. Denny Pletz, who's on our STEMS board, he recently celebrated an anniversary with his wife. I just saw him on Wednesday at the meeting, and 50 years. So
Hey,
congratulations
there you
to
go.
them.
Congratulations, yeah.
Now, that lady deserves. Oh.
Yeah. Give him a Pletz plaque.
Wow, we're a loving bunch today.
Let's pay some bills.
Yeah, we should wrap it up.
Mr. President, I make the motion to approve the report of bills paid in the amount of $530,870.71.
Second.
Moved and seconded by Commissioner Johnson. Ladies first. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
to
carries.
adjourn.
One, two. Any comment? We are out of here.